and welcome to the Maserati Ghibli. When the Maserati Ghibli first came out in the press and everyone was reviewing it, it didn't really get the response or the reviews that I was expecting personally. People used to say that it's lacking the power, it's not quite got the build quality of the German rivals. They weren't sure if diesels were the right thing for Maserati to do. I looked on YouTube the other day because there's a new, slightly facelifted version of the Ghibli now out, and still all of the hits seem to be these kind of reviews, almost slating it really. And I wanted to give an honest review of what it's actually like to have a Maserati Ghibli and how we found it over the last 2 years of my family having one. So let's start off with the performance. So there are 3 different types of Ghiblis. There's the Ghibli diesel, which is what we've got. There's the Ghibli petrol, which is just called the Ghibli, and there's the Ghibli S. That's all now been slightly tweaked because you can now put different packages on it. There's the Lusso package and the Grand Sport package, but this is the very first generation. So we've got the Ghibli diesel. So one of the big things that people were saying was that it's not quite got the legs on it. Having owned loads of BMWs in the past, I personally had a 6 Series, my dad's had 5 Series, 3 Series, he's got an X5, so we know the BMW product. And we really haven't found that this car struggles for performance at all. In the way that you use it on a road every single day is more than enough, and it puts a bloody big smile on your face. So what we're talking about in terms of figures is the Maserati diesel does 0 to 60 in just over 6 seconds. Top speed of 155 miles an hour. It's got about 275 horsepower. Now the biggest mistake that most people do is compare the Maserati Ghibli to something like a 3 Series 335D or an M3 and M4. And that is wrong. This is fundamentally a much bigger car. What you need to compare this to is a 5 Series. If you're going down Mercedes, it needs to be an E-Class. It's that kind of size. And once you look at that and comparing those models together, Ghibli starts to make a lot of sense. So it's starting now at the moment, the Ghibli diesel is around about £50,000. Comparing it to BMW and Mercedes, you're looking at 48 for the Beamer and about 49 for the Merc. So it is more expensive than the German rivals, and I suppose what you're paying for is a little bit of that Maserati flair. So what do you get for your money? Well, comparing it in terms of performance to the other two, like I said, the Maserati does 0 to 60 in 6 seconds, just over 6 seconds. The equivalent BMW diesel and the Mercedes diesel does 0 to 60 times in the BMW is about 5.7, so a bit quicker. And the Mercedes, again, ever so slightly quicker at just shy of 6 seconds. So it's in the ballpark, but you've got to remember Maserati was never building the fastest cars in its class. When the Gran Turismo first came out, it was doing 0 to 60 times in about 5 seconds, when the equivalent Porsches were always in sub 4s, and even now if you want to go into a Maserati dealership today and get the Gran Turismo MC, you're looking at, you know, £110,000, and you're getting a 0 to 60 time in 4.5 seconds, which by today's standards isn't the fastest in the world. But if you're solely buying a Maserati based on its numbers in performance 0 to 60 times, you're doing it wrong. What this is an event. It's got heaps of luxury, things that obviously BMW and Mercedes are very luxurious cars, but it is in a very different way. It's an Italian luxury. The wood in here is wood. The leather is soft and beautiful to the touch. The paddle shifts on the Ghibli here are aluminium, so they're cold to touch, and it adds that little bit of class and elegance to the whole driving experience that the BMWs and the Mercedes just feel a little bit So continuing on with the build quality and the feel and the overall ownership of the car. This car is my dad's car. He's had it for 2 years. It's been through 2 services. Touch wood, which we can do because there's lots of it around here. Wood there, wood there, wood there. Nothing's gone wrong with it at all. Nothing at all. So services, we're looking at a minor service, then a major service, kind of intervals every year. So minor services come in at £400, £500. Major service looking at £700. So it has got Maserati price services. But in terms of the build quality, like I say, nothing's gone wrong with it. Comparing the Maserati to my Jag, let's say, it's kind of like comparing a chocolate teacup to a paper one, if traditions were to be believed. But things have changed, and both cars are great. I mean, I'm very happy with my Jag, but I think this is actually better put together. The finish on it is neater. There's no rattles or clinks that shouldn't be there, and I do get that in my car. Everything feels, like I say, the touch, the tactile bits are gorgeous. The aluminium shift paddles, the leather's soft. Now, the whole concept of Maserati having a diesel, that was a big thing that everybody seemed to dislike. And you've got to remember, Maserati was going through huge financial issues at the time. So what Maserati really needed to do is get more sales. It's as simple as that. So they created this smaller, more attainable product. If you are after an executive saloon car with good performance, outstanding luxury, built well, it seems to be reliable so far, you can now have that with a Maserati badge. You don't have to look like everyone else driving in their BMWs. That's another thing, you get a lot of attention in it. They don't pump through fake noises into the car itself to make it sound better. What they do is they filter out the bad sounds from the diesel and exaggerate the better sounds coming out of the exhaust, so it genuinely sounds better through the back. And here's an example. Add to it. I mean, it gives it a nice bellowy, almost V8 sounding tone to it. And there's no branding either on the outside that it is a diesel. The only time you'll notice that this is a diesel car is when you look at your miles per gallon and the money in your wallet, and the other time will be when you're at idle. When you're at idle, yeah, it does sound like a diesel engine, but it is. And if you are the kind of person that really gets to you and you really can't live with a diesel, get the petrol. The petrol is, well, it's the same bloody car, except it has got the benefit of sounding like a petrol engine. So it is a little bit louder, and it does sound absolutely fantastic. A lot of people say the sat-nav is it's raised from the Chrysler and it's not very good, and you know what, it's just a load of crap. Yes, it is taken from the Chrysler system, and yeah, if you're in America and Chryslers are one of the most popular cars on sale, and you spend a hell of a lot more to get the Maserati, yeah, I can understand your frustration that you sit in this and then it's just exactly the same thing in front of you. But here in the UK and Europe, we don't have that issue. I'd never seen this system before I jumped into a Maserati anyway, so for me it's very much a Maserati product, even though it's not. There are some little niggly points again where, I've got about 3,000-4,000 songs on my phone, so when I plug it in, it does take a while for it to try and register it all and get up to speed so you can control everything through the car itself. The way around that is just put in an auxiliary cord and get the passenger to pick the songs and you're sorted. We've fallen in love with the Ghibli. It's a beautiful looking car from the outside. The quality on the interior is fantastic. If it's not as good as a BMW, it's certainly better than my Jag. The way it handles, the way it performs is more than adequate for what it is. And it does put a smile on your face when you're threading it through a country road like I am now. It really genuinely does make you smile. And other people's appreciation for it, it's right up there, you know. It really is right up there. When you can tell somebody, you know, boy, are you driving in a what have you come in today? I've come in a Maserati. You know, you're getting some good man points with that. All in all, it's a beautiful car. We love it. We've had it for 2 years and we've got no plans of getting rid of it anytime soon. If you're interested in it, definitely go check it out. With all the tweaks to the facelift, you know, it's only going to make it an even better car. That's my honest review. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please do like, subscribe. I'm going to make a lot more of this content soon, and I'll see you in the new year.